If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and a high risk for fracture, now might not be the best time to ask yourself, are my bones strong? Life's full of make or break moments. That's why it's so important to help reduce your risk of fracture with Prolia. Only Prolia is proven to help strengthen and protect bones from fracture with one shot every 6 months.
Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Xgeva. Serious allergic reactions like low blood pressure, trouble breathing, throat tightness, face, lip, or tongue swelling, rash, itching, or hives have happened. Tell your doctor about dental problems, as severe jawbone problems may happen, or new or unusual pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred. Speak to your doctor before stopping, skipping, or delaying Prolia, as spine and other bone fractures have occurred. Prolia can cause serious side effects like low blood calcium, serious infections, which could need hospitalization, skin problems, and severe bone, joint, or muscle pain.
Don't wait for a break. Call your doctor now and ask how Prolia can help you.
High volume.
Low price.
Twice the jewelry.
Half the price.
Has to be the castle.
The castle.
The castle.
Jared's 3/4 carat diamond earrings are $9.99. Same quality, same carat weight earrings at the castle, just $3.95. That's way less than half the price. Shop 11 castle locations.
Everyday Kentucky is brought to you by Corman Kitchen and Bath. With First Alert Weather, this is WKYT News.
Thanks for joining us at Mid-Morning. We're waiting to hear from Lexington Mayor Linda Gordon and other city leaders. They're going to discuss Fayette County's plan to deal with that potential snow and ice headed to the Commonwealth.
While we wait, let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Jim Caldwell. Still wet at this point.
Wet, that's it. Just plain old rain falling out there. But as we look at our First Alert Radar network, you can see that line of freezing rain is slowly but surely dropping in, trying to show signs of it there in Scott County and being right on top of the folks there in Scott County, northern parts of it, and then just staying right out of downtown Georgetown, at least to this point. But there you go. I've had to zoom in. It's on top of Sadieville, at least where it's showing that mixing of precipitation. Let me show you the temperature map. We're sitting at 32 in Georgetown, so we are watching that number there. So that means that you could run into some freezing rain with the numbers dropping to that level. We're still at 33 in Lexington, but we keep dropping. And as we keep dropping, the odds of us running into some freezing rain. It'll take a minute. It's not just going to happen right when the temperature drops. It'll take a little bit for it to all start accumulating out there like that. But once we get to that point, that's when the icing comes, and that'll come a little bit later on in the day. We have to wait for it to happen. As I mentioned, it doesn't just happen once you walk outside and the temperature has dropped. Let's go back to our First Alert Radar network so you can see what I see out there as well. And we've got the band of freezing rain right there starting to sweep in. So we're seeing it at least change over on radar. Sometimes this is a little quick to go over to just plain old freezing rain, but the temperature there in Georgetown certainly suggests that we could be making that transition. I'll tell you one thing I've been noticing, and we are right there watching that sleet line on the backside of it looking rather significant. So, I mean, messy from one extreme to the other. You've got the icing, the glazing of ice, I think somewhere between about 1/3 of an inch to a solid inch of a coating of ice. And then because of the way it looks with the sleet that's getting cranked up now, I think we go 1 to 2 inches of just sleet and snow on top of that at the end, which is a good thing, believe it or not, to run into an inch or two of sleet and snow rather than just a solid layer of ice. You at least get traction in that. And if you have to get out, and I know people do, I have to be here, so I understand some of us have to get out and go to work, and we have to do things. At least we'll have maybe a little bit of traction there if we can get in on some of the sleet and snow. You go south of that line, you find 1/10 of an inch to around 1/4 of an inch, a very small sliver of it, and then we go from rain to around 1/10 of an inch of ice, a little deeper into parts of Kentucky. Now our 7-day forecast that we have right here already pulled up for you. We're looking at snow and frigid conditions out there on Friday. That's the back edge of all of this. And as we move through time, we end up with a bit of a cold run here on Saturday and Sunday. Those temperatures are down. Now we're getting closer to freezing on Sunday, but overall, that's what we expect out there, guys. So a bit of a mess as we make our way through time.
All right, Jim, thank you. Now city leaders are discussing Lexington's plan ahead of a potential ice storm.
Let's listen in live to Mayor Linda Gordon's remarks.
Coming off of one of the snowiest Januaries in recorded history.
And Lexington's starting off February facing predictions of a serious ice storm today. And so our message is very simple. In an ice storm, if you can stay home and stay off the roads, we ask that you please do that. Ice can be dangerous. The frigid temperatures that are forecast will keep it around for several days. Our city is prepared with salt, chainsaws, knuckle booms, generators, warming centers, and more. And we're ready to scrape off ice and snow when we can, pick up limbs, and help our residents. We want you all to stay safe. So I want to start with a couple of announcements, and then we'll have some other speakers to update you. First of all, I have closed city offices today. These are the offices where our employees are not involved in the winter weather response, and I have canceled garbage pickup. Today, I've brought together representatives of city departments to discuss our weather plans. Fire Chief Jason Wells is here, along with Police Chief Lawrence Weathers and Police Sergeant Guy Miller. Our Director of Streets and Roads, Rob Allen, is here. Representing homelessness, prevention, and intervention, we have Charlie Lanter, our new Commissioner of Housing Advocacy and Community Development, and Nancy Albright, our Commissioner of Environmental Quality and Public Works, is joining us. And we want to welcome special guest David Freibert from Kentucky Utilities. And so let's start with our weather forecast, the latest. Tim Brandywee is here from the Division of Emergency Management, and Tim will also tell us about activities at our Emergency Operations Center. So welcome, Tim. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm Tim Brandywee. I'm the Emergency Operations Manager for the Division of Emergency Management. We've been preparing for the approach of this storm for several days. We've been coordinating with the National Weather Service, also our own city response agencies to ensure that we're postured to respond depending upon how severe the weather gets this evening. The latest models we've run this morning for Lexington point forecasts, it looks like the rain will shift over to freezing rain and sleet a little bit later than had been forecasted, more like 4 p.m. this afternoon. So that gives us a little bit more time. It also kind of helps us in how much ice we're going to get versus how much water. So now we're looking at the shift over at about 4 o'clock p.m. We are still, however, expecting anywhere from 1/4 to about 1/2 of an inch of ice accumulation overnight. Now, our threshold for concern about the integrity of power lines and tree limbs is about 1/4 of an inch. So either way, anything between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch of ice accumulation will be a threat to the power grid, and that's one of our primary focuses this evening. However, that is a slight improvement from last night, since the switch over to ice is going to be a little bit later. Last night we were expecting at least 1/2 an inch, if not more. Now, this could vary a little bit throughout the rest of the day, but either way, we are looking at an icing event that will definitely have the potential to impact our power infrastructure and our road networks, not just here in the county itself, but the interstates that come in and out of Fayette County. So those are our primary focuses, our power outages and the associated risks to the population from that, and our road conditions. We expect the freezing rain and sleet to switch back over to snow at about 3 a.m. Tomorrow morning. So we're basically going to have very cold water, which will freeze. We'll get sleet on top of that, and then snow on top of that. For those who remember the 2009 storm, that's pretty similar pattern that we had. So it will make road travel hazardous this evening. It's very difficult to get ahead of this, because as long as it's wet, there's not much we can do. In addition, as the mayor indicated, it will be very cold the next 2 nights. So in the event of power outages, we are looking at overnight wind chills and lows of about single digits, 10 degrees. We won't get back above freezing until Sunday. The good news is this precipitation should stop by 11 a.m. tomorrow morning, so we can get back at it and get recovered. So the Emergency Operations Center for the city will be staffing up 24 hours this afternoon for the duration of the event. Our primary focus is going to be on keeping track of the status of the power grid, as well as the road networks and the impacts to ensure availability of essential services throughout the city. And we'll be in constant coordination with our other LFUCG partners in streets and roads and public safety throughout the evening, and we'll have representatives in our operations center for that. I just want to reemphasize what the mayor said. The best thing people can do for us is avoid unnecessary travel, especially this evening, and also be prepared for potential power outages. Highly recommend that make sure your portable devices are charged up so you can continue to get information. I know speakers after me will talk about some of the other preparations and resources, but we will have a significant event tonight. Some power outages are likely, and ask that everybody just be prepared for when it rolls through. Depending upon the severity of outages and the location of them, we are prepared, if necessary, to open up warming shelters if power outages are going to be sustained, and or potentially actual shelters if it become necessary. And that's what especially we'll be focusing on this evening in the Emergency Operations Center. And that's really all I've got, unless you have anything for me.
Okay. We'll take questions in a minute. Are you a Bengals fan?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I noticed. Are you a Bengals fan? You're wearing
I'm actually a Buccaneers fan, but I'm rooting for the Bengals now since we're not in. So,
you know, we notice red clothing around here. Okay. Thank you very much, Tim. And next, I'd like to ask, we'll hear from Kentucky Utilities. I'd like to ask Dave Freibert if he would come to the podium. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here.
I already touched base on him last night.
Welcome.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. As the mayor said, I'm David Freibert with Kentucky Utilities. Happy to share what we're able to share, and we'll be working with a number of folks in the city and around the state for the next several days, we expect. As you might imagine, weather that's been discussed impacts our system and our ability to supply customers, so we are always interested in what is coming. We have been monitoring this front or system since I guess we've been on multiple phone calls a day with the National Weather Service and then a private weather service that we subscribe to with other utilities since the weekend. And it's changed another number of times, but and we remain focused on it and have been deploying personnel and materials in advance and getting ready for what it's the weather. You never know exactly where it's going to hit worst or how bad, but we are prepared. We have put all of in addition to our own line crews in staff and folks here in Central Kentucky, and we have a sister utility in Louisville. We have contractors that we work with year round, and we have kind of put them on notice, held them in the state, and between our crews and folks that we have contracts with that will be assisting us, we have about 600 personnel that will be prepared to address any power outages and problems that will arise in the next 24 hours. While our system was built to withstand extreme conditions, as mentioned, ice is cold temperatures, snow, rain sometimes cause modest problems. Ice is always a problem because it can get heavy enough to bring down limbs and trees into the lines, and on a rare occasion heavy enough to bring down power lines themselves, rarely, but it is kind of our worst nightmare, but we are preparing for it. It also, the ice also, you may recall this, from 2003, the ice also makes for pretty dangerous and challenging working conditions, and I know your teams know that to be true. We're a safety-first company, and then reliability for our customers. But if these guys don't come home at the end of the day, it's all for naught. So it makes for dangerous conditions, and we have that in mind as well. You'll see us all over the area for the next several days. Communications. We have systems that tell us when we have major outages. If folks at home, if your power goes out, go ahead and give us a call. Let us know for sure, and that number is 1-800-981-0600. We also have a pretty well-developed and third or fourth generation app. You can get just go to the App Store, and it's LGEKU outage, and it can tell you that right now we have 13 events, 13 separate outages right now, 700 people out of a 1.2 million that we serve. Those numbers are going to change, but you can drill down into more specifics, your outage. If we have large numbers of outages, the information will be a little slower coming in terms of crews that would, especially on the estimation for restoration time. But it'll tell you that we know you're out and that where their crews have been assigned and all that. For the media, I think you all should all be aware by now of our media hotline. For your information, it's 888-627-4999. And we also, you can set up an outage texting. You can communicate with us through 4LGEKU, which is the numbers 454-358 to get status updates on your particular outage. And I am happy to answer any questions, but the bottom line is we've been watching it coming. We're prepared, and you prepare for the worst and hope you don't get the worst. But we will be working with all of your folks for many days to come. Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions? I'm sure they'll have some in a minute.
Fair enough.
Thank you very much, David. Now, let's hear from Rob Allen, our Director of Streets and Roads. Rob, ice and cold temperatures are difficult, and you have really gotten it this winter, haven't you?
I have, Mayor.
Welcome.
Thank you. I think one of the key takeaways is don't panic, but this is serious. Folks do need to limit travel. We are going to get ice. How much is in question, and snowplow can't really drive on ice. So the limited traffic allows us to pre-treat at a certain time. Unfortunately, because of the rain event, we weren't able to get out and do brine or salt like we normally do. What will happen is once ice starts to accumulate on trees and elevated structures, we will start treating ranked roads because we have a lag time of a couple hours. We have full crews on call. We moved into 12-hour shifts this morning. Our contractors will be reporting in later today, along with additional drivers from Waste Management and Parks and Rec. So Streets and Roads and Water Quality are on scene and loaded now. So once things turn to ice and freezing rain, we'll start treating the roads. We have taken salt deliveries. We've done just about everything we can. I don't know if folks know, but we are also the lead agency for debris removal. So if we start getting tree failure, we will actually stop treating the roads and work in tree and debris removal to get those roads open to those critical facilities like hospitals, and also coordinating with Kentucky Utilities to get the roads open so they can make any needed repairs. But as I said, don't panic. The time to buy milk was yesterday. It's going to last a couple years, or a couple years ago. It feels like years, a couple days, but give crews the room and time they need to effectively treat the roads, and limiting unnecessary travel is the most important thing from the Streets and Roads perspective. Some of these folks have some additional information which is very important in conditions like this.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. It is an interesting perspective. You've lived a year in January, right? Thank you. So we all know that our firefighters face many challenges in this weather and some dangerous situations people may not be expecting. So I want to welcome Chief Jason Wells to the podium, and he'll give us his latest. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mayor. That's very accurate. So for the past several days, we have been working very closely with our LFUCG partners and our partners in the utilities. So we are confident that we're prepared for whatever the weather throws at us. But there's a lot of things that individuals can do to kind of help keep themselves safe. This is the time to check your smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. Please make sure that you have those functioning. We rely on each other to get through these tough times sometimes, so please check on your neighbors. And as we mentioned, make sure that you have fuel and supplies and that all of your devices are charged. Specifically, as we look at an ice event, we can expect limbs and power lines to be affected, so never touch a down power line. If there is a power line down and it's creating a hazard, please contact 911. And as our partner with KU stated, make sure to follow those outages and report those outages so we can keep track of those. Icy conditions do tend to lead to more slips and falls and obviously traffic collisions as well. And one of the big things when we do have power outages, we see people from time to time bring portable generators and or grills inside. That is a very, very bad idea. Those generate carbon monoxide. That is a deadly situation. So please be mindful of that. And if you are without power and need warming, then check in with our partners here, because there will be warming centers hopefully open. And those portable generators need to be at least 20 feet away from the house. So we'll take any questions later, but thank you, Mayor.
Good, thank you. Thank you very much, Chief. And we're hearing from various folks in public safety, and I also want to acknowledge and thank Commissioner Ken Armstrong for being here, our Public Safety Commissioner. So next I'd like to ask Sergeant Guy Miller to come to the podium. He's here representing police, who are also so important to our safety during this ice storm. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Good morning. As the Mayor said, I'm Sergeant Guy Miller with the Public Information Office. The Lexington Police Department has plans in place to ensure additional staff is available if necessary. Our specialty vehicles and our traffic control equipment is ready for deployment. Just as a reminder, wet roadways can become ice covered very rapidly, and if you should be prepared to shelter in place. Motorists should proceed with extreme caution. Should you come across the intersection that has lost power, we ask you to treat that as a four-way stop until our officers can get our traffic control equipment to that intersection to power it. Even if you have four-wheel drive, if a snow plow can't drive on ice, I don't think your four-wheel drive will either, so please try to stay off the roadway even if you do have four-wheel drive. And again, the Lexington Police Department is working with state and local agencies to assist them in any way possible.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much, Sergeant Miller. So snow and cold are especially difficult for those experiencing homelessness, and I'd like to invite Commissioner Charlie Lanter to the podium to talk a little bit about some of those programs. Charlie, welcome.
I'm Commissioner Charlie Lanter for Housing, Advocacy, and Community Development. Our response in support of our citizens who don't have housing is really focused on a couple of key areas. One is making sure that our shelters have capacity and resources. All of them are reporting that they are prepared and also have backup plans or preparations in the event of loss of power. So we want to make sure they're still able to serve folks in that capacity, and we believe we're ready there. So now what we're focused on is getting people inside. Street outreach teams from various organizations are out right now making contact with folks, delivering supplies, and offering rides to shelter. What we're really emphasizing with these individuals, though, is rides to shelter, because what we're really concerned about are the coming temperatures. The predictions for Friday morning are really deadly temperatures for people who would be outside. So we're really emphasizing with these folks to get them into shelter and making sure we've got a place for everyone to go. If you see someone or believe someone may need shelter or other assistance, please call the Lexington Police Department's non-emergency number at 258-3600. All of our first responders can make contact with these individuals, and they have the on-call numbers for organizations and other individuals who are able to help them and get them the assistance that they need. So we do believe that the homeless response system is ready. We always have to be able to evolve and move as things change, but we've got things we think where they need to be, and we'll be working closely with all of our partners over the next 48 hours to make sure that remains the case. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Commissioner Lanter. I think this is your first press conference as commissioner. Yeah, welcome. As you can see, we have a great team and our community partners, and I also just publicly want to thank CAO Hamilton, who consistently is such a great leader and pulls people together. And so we have a lot of folks here who can answer your questions. So what questions do you have? Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, at what point do you open up the warming centers? It sounds like there's not solidified plans yet.
You've been listening to the mayor's response to that winter storm heading our way. The big things right now, just asking people to stay off the roads.
Absolutely. And we are tracking breaking news right now also out of the nation's capital. President Biden is at the White House talking about a counterterrorism operation that took place in Syria. Let's listen into that.
Was Marines, Special Forces, the loved ones, giving them the strength and support they need to do what they do. To our service members and their families, we're forever grateful for what you do for us, and we owe you a debt. Thank you. We're also aided by the essential partnership of the Syrian Democratic Forces. I want to commend our dedicated intelligence community, the Department of Defense, and members of our national security team throughout the government, whose meticulous and tireless work over the course of many months ensured that this mission succeeded. This operation is testament to America's reach and capability to take out terrorist threats no matter where they try to hide anywhere in the world. I'm determined to protect the American people from terrorist threats, and I'll take decisive action to protect this country. And we'll continue working with our close allies and partners, the Syrian Democratic Forces, the Iraqi security forces, including the Kurdish Peshmerga, and more than 80 members of the global coalition to keep pressure on ISIS to protect our homeland. We remain vigilant. We remain prepared. Last night's operation took a major terrorist leader off the battlefield, and it sent a strong message to terrorists around the world. We will come after you and find you. Once again, today, we continue our unceasing effort to keep the American people safe and to strengthen the security of our allies and partners around the world. I want to thank you all, and may God bless you, and may God protect our troops. I'm heading off to New York right now. I'm late, and I thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Mr. President,
has been eliminated, sir.
how many U.S. troops were involved, sir?
Mr. President, how many civilian casualties were there?
Obviously, we're going to have more information about that counterterrorism issue online.
Keep it here on WKYT.
This is WKYT, standing for you, however you stream.
Missing teeth? Tired of dentures? We can help. Call now to receive custom dental implants. TLC Dentistry offers modern care and the latest technology to help you regain your smile and enjoy your favorite foods again. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
When I was younger, working heavy equipment, hard work never bothered me.
But day by day, I could see his body wearing out.
And the noise, I was losing my hearing.
So I told him we're calling 800-55-WILDCAT.
Kentucky Courage Lawyers got me paid by workers' comp and Social Security disability.
Going after the benefits you deserve, that's Kentucky Courage.
Call 800-55-WILDCAT. Morgan, Collins, Yeast, and Salyer.
Hi, it's me again. Listen to this. Medicare Part C plans with extra benefits like getting money added back to your Social Security check every month may now be available to you in your zip code. Make sure you're not missing out. It's simple. 1, call the number on your screen. 2, they'll look up your zip code and see if you're eligible. 3, they'll check for plans with extra benefits like prescriptions, dental coverage, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every single month. Call now.
I called to get everything I deserve.
I called to check my zip code for a plan with the benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I called to check my zip code.
Check your zip code. It could be dynamite. Call now.
Call 1-800-967-8459. That's 1-800-967-8459 now.
WKYT's late news has grown, now covering more local stories from 10 to 11 on the CW Lexington.
Every night, WKYT News is here for you an hour earlier.
More news happening now.
Plus, more first alert weather to help you plan ahead.
WKYT News at 10 on the CW Lexington.
Missing teeth? Tired of dentures? We can help. Call now to receive custom dental implants. TLC Dentistry offers modern care and the latest technology to help you regain your smile and enjoy your favorite foods again. Call now to schedule your free consultation.
High school game time, Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 on WKYT. Closed captioning on WKYT is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank. This is WKYT News Mid-Morning.
Welcome back to WKYT Mid-Morning. Mayor Linda Gorton is continuing to answer questions about the ice storm that's heading our way. Let's go ahead and listen to those live right now.
To go to my family member's house or think about a hotel room. Just being able to have information to make those decisions, I think, is important as well. And there are a number of channels through which they can pursue that.
That's great. Is there an average time? And I know it's impossible to predict, but a half a day versus a day, because we know people can be very impatient and we know that you're working under very difficult circumstances, but is there like a window?
There is no way to estimate, not having seen the extent of the damage. I mean, the first thing in the process that we're about to undergo is when it does happen, we find out how bad it is, where it's the worst, and you begin to deploy resources. And the first process that you undertake is assessment. So those things are answered in the first several hours, depending, in the first many hours, so you can do the best job restoring the power to the most folks the fastest. And that'll be at the front end of the process.
Any other questions for Mr. Frybert?
Thank you.
Thank you. You probably wish you had one of those little 8 balls that some of us had as kids, so you could shake it up and get the answer. What other questions do you have? All right. Thank you. Yes.
One last one.
Yes.
A lot of people have anxiety thinking back to 2003. Do you have any words of reassurance for them as we go forward? It's not supposed to be as bad, we're hearing, but any words of reassurance to people thinking back to that last bad ice storm?
I remember 2003. I was out of power 2 weeks. And people, I think the first thing to do is remain calm and think through what we each need to do to be safe in our homes. And of course, you've heard many of our speakers say, stay off the roads. There really isn't a reason in most cases to go out. Food situation-wise, people may want the perfect food they had thought they'd eat while they were in, but go to the pantry and see what's there, So you've heard a lot of the safety issues that Chief Wells and others have talked about. Check on each other in your neighborhood. I think this is a time when we pull together even more and be sure that our neighbors are safe. Do they need something for the emergency? And then we've just got to hunker down, and we know how these ice storms can be. And they're difficult. They're very hard. But we have a great crew of people throughout government, through KU, through our community partners who are working on this, and we're putting all of our resources toward it. Anything else? Thank you all so much. GTV, you're always there. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you've been listening to Mayor Linda Gorton there. Just updates about everything going on in the city.
Obviously, we're going to have continuing coverage throughout the afternoon and into the night. But right now, we want to check in with meteorologist Jim Caldwell. We're getting closer and closer to the transition to ice from rain.
It's happening out there just to our north right now. Indications on radar showing that it's happening, as a matter of fact, in Scott County, where we're seeing at least the transition showing on our radar, the First Alert Radar Network scanning the skies. You can see the line of all of it trying to come together here in Works D. deeper and deeper toward the south. Now, at first, what's going to happen is you're going to run into plain old rain. That's what we've been dealing with for a while. But then, as the temperature continues to drop, it'll start freezing on surfaces. It doesn't happen just immediately. It'll take a little bit of time before we start dealing with that. But the trend is certainly there, and you're seeing even more. A lot of sleet on this as well. I mean, we're seeing quite a bit out toward Paducah, with maybe significant accumulation of sleet there, with heavy snow just north of that. So that is what we're faced with out there at the moment. Ice storm warning continues through tomorrow morning for areas in central Kentucky. Winter storm warning out to our east. When I come back in a few minutes, we'll look at the full run of the hour by hour and time this out so you can see when it likely impacts your area.
All right, Jim, thank you. So this storm already dropped a heavy dose of snow and ice on the Midwest.
Naomi Ruckham reports on the efforts as people are digging out.
In Terre Haute, Indiana, first came the rain and then the snow. That's been the case for much of the Midwest, digging out yesterday as the storm continues today.
Since it rained all last night, like the bottom half inch is just pure slush.
We're supposed to get another 8 or 12 inches. Someone's trying to do it in stages.
Dash cam video caught a car spinning out of control along this Kansas road. In Missouri, Interstate 64 and 70 were both blocked due to semi-trucks, while buses and cars across dozens of states were seen struggling with the conditions.
Let the plows do their thing and then come out later on.
There's heightened concern in Texas, almost a year after a freeze there led to one of the nation's biggest blackouts and killed more than 200 people.
The expectation right now is not going to be something like we saw last year. It's much shorter duration. There doesn't seem to be an overlap between the cold and the rain.
Officials say changes made in the past year have made the power grid more reliable.
Weatherizing our fleet or the way we operate our grid, it really has put us in a solid position.
Up in Pittsburgh, they're preparing as if it's just another storm.
It's cold February. Get a shovel. Don't worry about it.
The National Weather Service says the snow and rain should move off the East Coast by Friday evening. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Now, Kentucky is under a state of emergency this morning as that ice storm moves in.
Multiple agencies, including the National Guard, are on standby.
We'll be setting up along some of the key interstate locations, some of the areas of high trafficability, and in particular working with our partners out of the Department of Transportation.
The governor signed an executive order preventing price gouging on things like gas, food, and household items.
Crews say pre-treating the roads is a challenge this go-around.
The heavy rain started yesterday morning. Kentucky Transportation Cabinet leaders say they can only start salting once it transitions to ice.
The best thing we can do is just as soon as we notice things starting to freeze up, and of course the pavement temperatures will be a little warmer than the air temperatures. We'll have to treat bridges and overpasses first.
Road crews say you cannot plow ice. Even their equipment will struggle once that sheet forms. If you do have to drive, mechanics say you should check your tire pressure first. Ed Tackett with AAA Auto says bad tires caused most of the damage he saw after the last ice storm.
Vehicles with worn tires that had gone off the road maybe caused some suspension damage, busted tires, busted wheels, minor collision damage.
And if you're having trouble getting into your car, AAA recommends dipping your key into a mixture of water and alcohol. That can help dissolve ice.
Crews in Woodford County are testing out their equipment and preparing for power outages. Emergency Management Director Drew Chandler knows communities depend on electricity.
Not just for things that make life more convenient, but for equipment that is medical in nature. Oxygen concentrators, CPAP machines.
Woodford County leaders will work with the Red Cross to set up shelters if power does go out.
The Lexington Fire Department is urging people to heat their homes safely if they lose power. If you have a home generator, place it outside and away from windows and doors. Don't use grills or stovetops to try and warm up. Those produce a lot of carbon monoxide. Infants, the elderly, and people with heart disease are at higher risk.
When you start having symptoms, usually tired, hot, exhausted type stuff, you've already been poisoned by the gas, and it's usually too late.
The CDC says more than 4,000 people are hospitalized for carbon monoxide poisoning every year. On average, more than 400 of them die.
A gas heater mishap sparked a fire in eastern Kentucky. Ashland firefighters say a man was trying to light the heater, but he dropped his match. The fire spread quickly. Both he and his wife escaped with just a few minor burns. Crews got to the scene quickly, got everything under control. They're asking you to be careful if you rely on gas heat.
They got out. That was the main thing. He was hollering at her to get out when he saw it got out of hand, and she was able to get out, and he was too. So that's all that matters.
Analysts blame harsh winter weather for a rise in natural gas.
Analysts are blaming harsh winter weather for a rise in natural gas prices. Futures for natural gas soared 16% yesterday, closing at a high not seen since November. That's expected to cause supply and demand issues for natural gas as people turn up their thermostats.
Grocery store shelves across the state are cleared out right now. Here are pictures from the Georgetown Kroger, where bread, milk, and water have been selling out fast. Store leaders are asking people to buy only what they need and to leave some for others. The potential ice storm is having an impact on flights out of Bluegrass Airport today. Here's a look at the status board. As you can see, nearly every flight has been canceled today. According to FlightAware, nearly 4,000 flights have been canceled nationwide.
You can stay up to date on weather with the First Alert Weather app. You can scan the QR code on your screen with your smartphone's camera or find it in the App Store. Remember, even if you lose power, the app will still work with cellular data. Kentucky's daily COVID reports continue to trend down.
The state added more than 7,400 new cases and 21 deaths yesterday. The positivity rate is down again to 26.78%. Hospitalizations and the number of patients in the ICU are up. Fewer people are on a ventilator.
The University of Kentucky hopes a new incentive program will boost vaccinations. The Cats Get Boosted program runs through April 29th. Students who get booster shots can win one of 10 $500 scholarships. There's also a $1,500 scholarship up for grabs. Employees can win $500 cash. Winners will be announced weekly starting tomorrow.
Fayette County schools reported a sharp uptick in COVID cases last month. The district reported around 200 cases in December. Last month, there were more than 2,100. In the last week of January alone, the district had more than 700 new student cases and 130 staff cases. School leaders are encouraging everyone who's eligible to get vaccinated.
Superintendent Dr. Demetris Liggins talked about staffing challenges at Fayette County Public Schools because of the pandemic. He was the speaker at this morning's Lexington Forum. Liggins says they're seeing issues with incentivizing substitute teachers and touched on bus driver shortages facing the district. Liggins says that the most unique thing about leading the school district through the pandemic is the pandemic itself.
I have plenty of mentors and I mentor plenty of people, but none of us have the answers. You know, we're all going through it together for the first time. And so it doesn't matter if you've been a superintendent for 30 years or your first year superintendent. We're all experiencing the same thing.
Liggins touched on a number of other topics this morning, including his vision for the district in the next number of years. WKYT's Jim Stratman will have more on that coming up on WKYT News at noon. Keep it here on Mid-Morning.
We'll check in with the Mr. Food Test Kitchen to see what they are cooking up today. Oh, some kind of pasta dish.
Pasta, something warm. That's what you need out there for today, as those temperatures are going to be falling, and so will the freezing rain be falling. We're tracking it coming up in just a few minutes.
What you're about to experience here is special.
Welcome to Brixton University.
I'm juggling so much. What if I made the wrong choice coming to college here?
Stop and enjoy the moment.
Buckle up.
Who got the power? Who got the power? Who got the power?
Never let anything keep you from your dream.
We are Black Excellence. We're chasing our legacy.
All-American Homecoming. New series premieres Monday, February 21st. Only on the CW.
Well, well, well. Look at you. You mastered the master bath. You created your own style. And you, yes you, turned a sourdough starter into a sourdough finisher. So when you learn your chronic dry eye is actually caused by reduced tear production due to inflammation, you take it on by talking to your eye care professional about Restasis, which may help you make more of your own tears with continued use twice a day, every day. Restasis helps increase your eye's natural ability to produce tears, which may be reduced by inflammation due to chronic dry eye. Restasis did not increase tear production in patients using anti-inflammatory eye drops or tear duct plugs. To help avoid eye injury and contamination, Do not touch the bottle tip to your eye or other surfaces. Wait 15 minutes after use before inserting contact lenses. The most common side effect is a temporary burning sensation. Ask your eye care professional about Restasis. Now to trick out these lights. Visit Restasis.com to learn more.
When I started practicing law in the 80s, there just weren't many of us. Now, women make up a majority of the law school graduates. That's what I call strength in numbers. I'm Ultima Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Our dedicated workforce has grown to include a diverse team from all walks of life. And I'm so proud of that. Morgan & Morgan, for all the people.
Spectrum Business is the only internet and phone provider built for the new way you do business. We know fast internet speeds and low prices are critical for small businesses, and slow speeds from the other guys can't handle your new digital needs. Now's the time to switch to Spectrum Business. You'll get more speed and proven reliability, and you'll never have to sign a contract. $49.99 for 200 megabit per second internet and $19.99 for business phone, with no added taxes or hidden fees and no nonsense. So stop overpaying for internet and phone today. You could cut your bill in half when you switch to Spectrum Business, and we'll prove it. Grab your bill, visit spectrum.com/business calculator and see how much you'll save when you switch. Or give us a call and we'll calculate your savings for you. Plus, you'll get fast speeds and over 99.9% network reliability. $49.99 for 200 megabit per second internet and $19.99 for business phone. Call 888-839-9449 today and start saving with Spectrum Business.
Of the freezing mark. We're going to watch these numbers go down a little bit more, and as that happens, the potential for that freezing rain will jump up. Ice storm warning out because of that. You can see it. We talked about this yesterday, stretching through central Kentucky, and then a winter storm warning on the other side of that. Again, for the same significant icing, it looks like, and then a winter weather advisory out across southern southeastern Kentucky. Here's what's happening on our First Alert Radar network. You're looking at that freezing rain line coming together here with temperatures that are sitting 33, 34 degrees, so indicative of just plain old rain here in our area. But you go north of it, and that's where it starts to change. There's sleet, a solid shield of it. I was reading some reports coming from the Paducah National Weather Service office, and about 1.5 inches of sleet on the ground across parts of Missouri. So far, eastern sections of Missouri getting up to 1.5 inches of sleet, and then, of course, about 1/4 inch of freezing rain underneath that. So we're certainly getting it, it's just not everywhere yet. There you can see that mixing line crashing in on us and the sleet that's on the backside of it as well. We zoom back out so you can see it. Look at that. That right there is just some very heavy snow and sleet mixing in. And it could be some heavy sleet. That's why they had 1.5 inches of it already on the ground from all the sleet that's fallen out there so far. So we are still on the rainy side of this as of this moment, and the rain will continue to kind of pump into Kentucky. Several states included in on this. I mean, you go all the way down into Texas, into Maine, and we're seeing some of the impacts of this system. I mean, it's just a big-time weather player. Look out here, nothing else going on other than this. This right here has all the attention focused in on it. The cold air is coming, and when I say coming, I mean it. It is going to get cold out there on the other side of all of this as that starts moving on in. All right, let's take you about an hour into the future, 11:30. You see that mixing line gets a little bit deeper into the region. By the afternoon hours, probably in Lexington, with the numbers dropping, and they continue to drop until eventually we're all under that freezing rain for a while. The colder air finally wins out from top to bottom, and then we get the snow to fall on the backside of it, and there might be some accumulations of that thrown into the mix as well. Maybe 1 to 2 inches of sleet and snow on top of anywhere from about 1/3 inch of ice to maybe a full-blown inch of ice. So we have a lot to watch over the next several hours, guys.
Yeah, bad enough to get that ice, but then to know it's just going to be that cold afterwards.
And so it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, yep, not happening. All right, thanks, Jim. Well, this dish from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen is a modern take on an old world classic.
Today's recipe is for beef stroganoff.
This time of year, no matter how much we want to cut back, we still crave comfort food in a big way. You know, the kinds of foods that warm us up and make us feel all cozy inside. And today, we have just the thing. It's a dish that dates back to the 17th century, yet is still very fitting. I'm talking about beef stroganoff. And if you got a minute, let me share how easy it is to throw together. The first thing we want to do is cut a boneless top sirloin steak into 1/4-inch slices. This gets sauteed in some melted butter, along with a bit of chopped onion and garlic, until no pink remains. Takes just minutes. We sprinkle the top with a little flour and a good amount of black pepper. And for the sauce, we add a can of cream of mushroom soup, a can of cream of chicken soup, and some fresh mushrooms. After this simmers for a bit, we stir in some sour cream, and there you have it. It doesn't get any easier. When you serve this over buttered noodles, which is pretty traditional, or mashed potatoes, get ready for comfort at its best. The recipe for our simple beef stroganoff is online now, so you can make it as soon as tonight. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found an oldie but goodie way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Oh, yeah, I get into that.
And it looked easy. I could handle it.
All right. After the break, we're talking with the people from Waveland about a unique Valentine's Day experience.
Keep it here on Midmorning.
WKYT First Alert Weather, alerting you first every weekday on Facebook Live.
Do you suffer from knee pain? Ever been diagnosed with osteoarthritis or worried about the risks involved with knee surgery?
It hurt all the time, like the nerves were rubbing against each other.
I was at the point of either replace my knees because I'm tired of this pain.
Get the relief you need without surgery. We're Arthritis Knee Pain Centers, the premier leaders in non-surgical knee pain treatments. Instead of surgically replacing your knees, our state-of-the-art procedures replenish the depleted natural cushioning in your joints with an FDA-approved shock-absorbing gel, without surgery and without downtime.
After the first injection, I knew it was going to work.
We've successfully treated thousands of patients. Medicare and most private insurance cover this procedure.
Full motion, no pain, walking, everything just back normal like it used to be.
Call 1-800-257-3608 for a free no-obligation knee pain assessment or go to arthritiskneepain.com. Call 1-800-257-3608.
We see you, homeowners. 20 feet up a ladder, elbow deep in gutter gunk, we commend your bravery. But wouldn't you rather be here? Well, now you can. Just pick up the phone and call 1-833-LEAF-GUARD. LEAF-GUARD is the only one-piece gutter system guaranteed to never clog, no matter the weather. It features a debris-shedding wraparound hood, which filters water in while deflecting leaves and other debris. That means full protection of your home from water damage, mold, pests, and clogs. The downspout is also 33% larger than the industry average, so all that water gets funneled safely away from your foundation. LeafGuard gutters are also 20% thicker than the industry average, so they'll protect your home for as long as you own it. That's less maintenance and more savings. So what are you waiting for? Call 1-833-LEAFGUARD today. Buy LeafGuard from us, and we will install it for only $99 and enjoy no monthly interest for 18 months until paid in full. With your LeafGuard purchase, you'll also receive a $50 Visa gift card when you schedule your free in-home estimate. LeafGuard. Get it and forget it.
I'm John Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call Pound Law from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan. Pound Law. That's all.
This is my first time trying on glasses at home. So cute!
5 different frames from Warby Parker.
Oh, this one's better. Ooh. Hey.
The virtual try-on is perfect. Like, they look like they're on my face. Like, look at this. Just swipe and switch.
These are definitely a keeper.
I think these are the one. Ooh, these look good.
That was so easy. They make it so fun and fabulous.
How did Olay top expensive creams? Like this, with hydration that beats the $100 cream in every jar of Regenerist. Retinol 24, collagen peptide, new vitamin C, and the iconic red jar. Can't top this skin. Shop now at Olay.com.
Investigate TV, Sunday nights at 12:05 on WKYT.
Welcome back to WKYT. If you're looking for a one-of-a-kind Valentine's Day experience, why not spend it at the Waveland State Historic Site?
Joining us this morning is Park Manager Charla Reed. So good to see you.
Good. Thanks for having us.
Waveland is such a beautiful location. Seems like the perfect place to celebrate Valentine's Day. What do you all have planned?
Well, we have a special Valentine's Day just for your sweetie. We'll be serving a bunch of savories and Elmwood and teas. We'll greet you in our period dress, and we'll even tell you a little bit about some Valentines of the time period.
That's what I was going to say. So it isn't just, just a chance to go out and have a meal. It's also a chance to learn a little bit about the site for people who are interested in the history of it.
Absolutely. We're going to do a little bit, a talk, a little bit about hearts and Valentines and love of that time period. And then at the end, we'll follow it up with a mansion tour.
Awesome. And then, so in addition with the savory sandwiches, we've got an example of some of the desserts out here. They've managed to survive this far, but they probably won't make it past the end of the show. We've got lemon scone. What's this, white chocolate?
Yeah, tell us about the menu.
Yeah. We'll start out with the savories. We'll start with, and we use Elmwood and teas. We'll do a Kentucky blend tea at first with your savories, and you'll have a chicken salad croissant, a country ham biscuit, cucumber with dill garnish, and a pimento cheese puff. And then we'll start you with some scones, vanilla bean scones with lemon curd. It's homemade. And then we'll do the 4 seasonal desserts, and that's what you're seeing.
That makes sense.
Cake and brownie and cookie, and all of them are very heart-themed.
They're very cute, very festive. So if people want reservations or get tickets, how do they go about that process?
We ask that you call our site, 859-272-3611. Leave a message if we're not here, especially with all the storm, but we will get back with you. We will need to have your reservation by the Friday before, and there is limited seating. But we also will be, this is our kickoff to our Tuesday teas as well. So if you miss this, then you can catch us on a Tuesday.
All right. Sounds like a good time. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having us.
Keep it here on Mid-Morning. We'll have a final check of your forecast before we go.
West Shore Home can completely transform your shower or bath, and they can do it for as little as $99 a month. Hey everybody, I'm with Kirsten from West Shore Home. Kirsten, today I want to talk about your unique approach to shower and bath remodeling.
So Joe, our goal at West Shore Home is to make the remodeling process as stress-free as possible for homeowners. In the last year, we were able to work with 45,000 homeowners, and of those installations, we were able to complete 90% of them in just one day.
Wow, so you come in, install a brand new custom designed shower or bath, and you're out by dinner time.
That's right. Our goal is to limit disruption to homeowners. And the best part is we can do these projects for $99 a month. So let's take a look at some local projects that we did. This homeowner was tired of scrubbing their old tub. We came in and replaced the entire tub. And keep in mind, this was a custom designed project down to the texture and style of the walls. We completed this entire project for just $99 a month.
And not a shell, not a liner. This is a complete replacement.
Definitely. Anytime we do a project, we completely remove the tub or shower that was there before and replace it with a new one that the customer designed themselves. It's amazing what we can do in one day. So let's take a look at another project we did here in the local area. This couple needed something safer and more accessible. We were able to remove the high-step tub and install a beautiful low-step shower, complete with a shower seat and grab bars for safety. Again, we were able to do this for just $99 a month.
Incredible. Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, West Shore Home works fast with their one-day installation, and now they're making shower and bath remodeling easier and more affordable than ever with their low monthly payments. If your shower or bath needs an upgrade, call the experts at West Shore Home, and when you do, take advantage of this great offer. West Shore Home is extending this sale until Sunday. Get your brand new custom-designed shower or bath for as little as $99 a month. This is a limited time offer that you do not want to miss. Call West Shore Home now.
Today, funeral costs average over $10,000 and are expected to be over $30,000 in 20 years. With these rising costs, seniors must ask themselves these important questions. Can my family pay a funeral bill possibly as high as $30,000? Would my funeral place a financial burden on my loved ones? How can I protect my family from this unavoidable expense? Senior Life Insurance Company offers state-regulated life insurance plans to help cover your funeral expenses. With plans around $12 a month, covering your funeral expenses has never been more affordable. your low rate is also locked in for life. You can also not be turned down for any health reason. We cover seniors with many common conditions like diabetes, high blood pressure, or arthritis. This is all done with no medical exam. Protect your family with life insurance from Senior Life. Call the number for free information with no obligation. Make the free call now.
Closed captioning on WKYT is sponsored by Cumberland Valley National Bank.
It is already nasty out there with the rain moving through our skies and then the heavier precipitation, the frozen precipitation, I should say, coming up a little later today, guys.
All right, thanks so much. Keep it here. We'll be back at noon.
I thought I'd get Social Security disability. They turned me down. I called 800-55-WILDCAT. They got Social Security to pay me.
Call 800-55-WILDCAT. Morgan, Collins, Yeast, and Salyer.
I'm Joseph Back with iBuyKY.com, and I want to buy your house. I'll make you an as-is cash offer on your house within 24 hours. Whether it's a total fixer-upper or in perfect condition, iBuyKY.com is the easiest way to sell your house. When you sell your house to iBuyKY.com, there's no fees, no commissions, no banks, and no repairs. Just go to iBuyKY.com for a free, no-obligation cash offer 24 hours a day. That's iBuyKY.com.
First Alert Traffic, only on WKYT. Brought to you by Morgan & Morgan.